that was going on with Mukhtar. Now, is it true or isn't it that I showed y'all in our last meeting the phone calls listed from Sprint?
Yes.
Okay. And I also showed you newspaper. Yeah, this is right here. Police identify fatal shooting victim found in East Oakland. It says Terrell Reeves, that's my grandson. And I also showed you my written agenda for that day, and it says 4/22/13, Oakland, 12:30 in the afternoon. I leave US Air and I stop off at another place. I get here 10:15 p.m. I take the metro, I spend $5, and whatever time I get here. So, I have here, it says abdul-alim, mata, mentira, and gadab. Mata is to kill in Spanish. Mentira, or mentiroso, is a lie. Mentira are lies. Gadab means angry. I'm angry at them. Why? Because at 2, well, I showed y'all, remember? I might still have it here. At 2:10 a.m. DC time, they called from Oakland, which is 11 p.m. on the 22nd. But it is 2 a.m. on the 23rd here. And I showed you the phone record. I still have it here, but I'm going to just go fast. But you remember that I showed it to y'all, right? So, that means, what did they say? They called me at 2 a.m., that means 11 o'clock Oakland time, and they say abdul-alim has been killed. Mata. I say to myself, that's a lie. And then I put gadab, I'm mad. This is just a note for myself. Then I go back to sleep almost. After I checked, I called Oakland through my own channels, and they said, no, it's fine. Now, Terrell Reeves, police identify fatal shooting victim found in East Oakland. Oakland man found shot to death Monday morning in East Oakland. The other article, the other thing from the newspaper said 6:20 a.m. if y'all remember. They calling me, telling me Terrell abdul-alim is dead. What was it? 6 hours, 8 hours. If they found his body, supposedly, at 6:20 a.m. Oakland time, is what the Oakland Tribune said. And they calling me at 2 a.m. DC time. Is that 9 hours? It's about 8 or 9 hours difference. How do they know? The newspaper said his body had been there a while. How would they know? How the hell would they know 8 hours, 9 hours before the police, before he's found, unless they shot him? It's simple math to me. It's not possible. Okay. There's tons of stuff like that go on. I'm not going to go into all of their behavior. I wouldn't do it enough. I went through property, you know, we go out there and this is how ugly the property, one of the properties was down here. And here it's got fresh paint and all that. I'll just pass it around. Yeah. One is all messed up. And then the other's fresh paint. That's a big piece of property. That's 8,000 square feet. 8,000 square feet. And the lot next to it is 8,000 square feet. You see what I mean? 8,000 square feet. So we have to do the roof, we fix that up, and that becomes, you can't see it real good, but you can see right here, and I'll hand it to you. It's an Islamic Institute for Counter-Zionist American Psychological Warfare. The building in the middle, that sign, it's a big sign. We done remodeled the building. We done cleaned up all the debris. We done had the building maybe 10 years by then. Abdul Malik, Mukhtar and them haven't did nothing to none of the property. In fact, imagine a building you let sit for 10 years. Roof is leaking, it's all, but we fixed it up. I spent all the money on the building, and I do this around 2007, 8, and 9. Every time I go to Oakland, this is what I'm doing. So 2009, from 7 to 9, in 2008, Abdul Malik quits. But we remodeled the building. This is thousands and thousands of dollars. And we remodeled the Masjid because the people in Oakland, if you guys remember, the front of the Masjid was tore off for 2 years when Abdul Malik and Mukhtar was there. Your brother from here comes out there and fixed that. The taxes for 2000, Oakland had never even paid taxes on all our property out there. And if y'all will remember that we said what we're gonna do, we're gonna go out there, we raised the money from here and went out there, and on January, I think the 27th, 2005, we paid over $48,000 in taxes for Oakland. And they had left the property, anytime I come back, they would mess the property up. And guess what? Alameda County tax collector. You can see right down here, Clarence Reams again. What is it? It says $22,901.95. Now, this is June 2014. Mukhtar's already starting all his fitness by then. You know what I mean? But they ain't paying no taxes. They ain't doing nothing. We're coming from D.C. with our money. And here's the letter. He done stuck his name on there, and they got, the sender. He's the one collecting. He didn't change to his name to the tax people to say send him all the information. Here's what he gets, $22,991. But you see, I pay that. Clarence Reams pays that, right? Okay, we'll get to where we're going in a minute. Y'all have all seen this one, Revolution from Egypt to the Americas. Remember this one right here? Revolution from Egypt to the Americas. Y'all remember this one? Yeah. Oakland and the American Islamic Revolution. Oakland and the American Islamic Revolution, Imam Jamil al-Amin, Imam Luqman. Imam Jamil's in prison for the rest of his life. Imam Luqman is martyred in 2009, and here I am. And what does it say? What revolution from Egypt to the Americas? Oakland and the American Islamic Revolution, what are they talking about? It's 2011. They're talking about us. Because we have already opened, if you look on that long one right there, that in the middle, there's a building that has a sign on it. You probably can't see it unless you got good eyes, but it says, the Islamic Institute for Counter-Zionist American Psychological Warfare. That's when we unleashed and we whooped the Zionists to death. How we whooped the Zionists to death? We whooped the Zionists to death by that sign and having a few programs. We had one or two here, right? Had a nice little dinner up on that, and maybe 10 or 15 people were aware of it, but they hit us with their websites. And 300,000 people go to their websites. Steve Emerson, Daniel Pipes, all the big Zionists, right? Psychological, and they put our flyers as we wrote them. Because them, they were repugnant, but anybody else see them, they make sense. That is psychological guerrilla warfare on the highest level. And we caught them with their draws down. Yes, we did. We slapped the urine out of them. Nobody's paying attention to us, so we have them put us on their website. That's psychological guerrilla warfare. When you go up to the enemy and you tell him, is this your gun? Yes. Is this your cannon? Yes. Would you turn your guns and your cannons on yourself and blow your head off? He says, yes. And he do it. That's the highest, tell the truth. And we did it. Y'all can remember, we did it, and we laughing at them. And we have to tell them what we tell them, this is what we just did to you. We whooped your behind. With your own stuff, stupid. Y'all is stupid. Okay? But the stupidity continues. Now, remember, we got to let the world know that the whole world is not, and America is not, and we need something to get to the people of the world about. We said this many times. We talked about Australia, going back to South Africa. We talked about, of course, they kicked us out of England. They just said, we don't want you, here anymore because you're a bad man. So persona non grata, no problem. So the psychological guerrilla warfare is working like a charm. We go on and on and on. And pretty soon they realize what's happening. And when we did that analysis, that there will be no Arab Spring, does anybody remember that? And this is the stages that the world was going to go through until there was a regional vision, regional cooperation, and final victory. And if you read anything in the Middle East right now, all our homeboys done struck pay dirt, man. Hezbollah done defeated all their people. Iran has defeated all their people. Saudi Arabia is crumbling. It's turned on itself. It's done gone crazy. And the United States, anybody that don't realize that the United States is crumbling is crazy. This week, what does the doggone, what does the thing look like this week? Every white man and Negro that has any honor and prestige that been feeling on some woman, right? The head of the biggest guy in ABC, let's guess it's ABC, I don't know, finished. The biggest people in Hollywood, finished. Old handkerchief head Conyers. That's what he get for being handkerchief head. 81 years old, messing with girls. What is the nigga 81 years old gonna do to a woman? Basically, nothing. He may rub his nose in it or something, or lick on it, but he ain't nothing else he gonna do, right? Tell the truth. Maybe if he take about 6 Viagra pills, he might be able to get started. Other than that, why would somebody that old? I mean, I'm 72 years old and in good health, but I'm not thinking about no girls. I mean, I'm just not thinking about it. I don't know, maybe I'm functional, but I ain't gonna go rubbing on nobody, you know what I mean? You have to, at that age, you have to work yourself up to it, you know what I mean? You have to think about it. It ain't like when you're young, you just see somebody and you juiced up. When you get older, you gotta think about it, you know what I mean? You gotta think about it and you know, get yourself all in the mood, you know what I mean? That's the way old people are. When you're young, you just smell something, a wind blow by and you ready, let me find me a girl, you know. It ain't like that when you get older. Plus, you value things and people different. When you're young, you don't really value women that much. When you get older, you know, you value people as human beings, not just as somebody to jump in and out of. When you're young, you go to bed with literally anybody. Anytime, anywhere. The back seat of a car, under a bridge, it don't make no difference. Tell the truth. This is the one where we paid their taxes from January to 27, 2005. $7,684 in cash, $8,974 cashier's check, $19,515 in cash too. Okay, and we donated $500 to the tsunami. And we said on our records here, As-Sabiqun policy statement and goals for 2005. Raise funds for property on MacArthur Boulevard, secure all necessary renovation permits, pay off taxes the first week of February. Well, we beat it. We paid it on January 27th. We did it. You have never heard of Oakland bringing any money or sending anything out here. Never. So, whatever reason, Mukhtar started messing with the paperwork. It was with government help and for government purposes. Wasn't something that we did to them. And if we were working on a program to help Imam Jamil, they would figure out something here and there to snatch that money up. So Imam Jamil spent the rest of his life in jail. Even Imam Luqman's, we say we raised him the money. Okay. Imam Luqman's wife is in Tanzania. They sent her back to Tanzania, the FBI did. She called me and said to Imam Musa, we don't even have a gravestone for my husband. So I said, okay, I just hooked that up and sent it to her right away. And nobody donated. One time on the Eid, they might have donated $400 or $500. But whether it was Imam Jamil, if we collected $300,000 in cash for Imam Jamil, I don't know what they did with the money. I know it didn't go to help keep him out of penitentiary. I know the way that case was fought. My poor son, poor guy, laid up there with 6 bullet holes in him. That's serious. And how to punt the FBI. You know, that's 2007. It's 10 years ago. You know, the same thing happened the other day. What caused us how to punt the FBI? We had a program in Dallas. And the next morning we was in the apartment and SWAT team surrounded the place. And then they knocked on the door and said, we're looking for Mustafa. I said, oh, Mustafa live here. So they showed a picture of an Arab, Iranian-looking guy. And then the police, I looked down the window, there's police down there, and everywhere I looked, the SWAT team. So they said, I'd like to see your ID. I said, I ain't showing you no ID, I'm inside the house. You don't have no right to, well, we're gonna have to, I said, you just gonna have to take me to jail now. So I started putting on my Shalawat kameez, and he said he's putting on his clothes. You know.
Wow.
I said, the picture, you ain't looking for me, you looking for Mustafa. He got curly hair, he's an Arab or Iranian, he ain't me. I don't look like, and the other guys, you know, the Iranian guy that be with me sometime. So anyway, that's when I came back here, I said, I showed them, so that's when I hooked the program up, how to punk the FBI. They mess with me, I mess with them. If we have a program how to punk the FBI, and I go down and pass this out at the FBI building, and I pass it out all over DC, if I don't get killed, and if I don't go to jail, then everybody see that, they say, he called the FBI a bunch of punks, and he called Mama Rice, was her name?
Condoleezza.
Condoleezza Rice, I call her Mama Rice here. And I call Dick Cheney, Lon Chaney. Y'all remember Lon Chaney? Man with 1,000 faces. You know, the werewolf and all that. So I'm just having fun. And I say interrogate to interrogator. Three Stooges rule. George Fairley III. You know, another George, King George III, and then George III, the big fool. Anyway, have fun. I didn't get killed, and I didn't go to jail. I'm gonna get up to modern times right now. What we pulled off in the last month is another complete victory. It is a bamboozle, 100% colored kingfish, Amos and Andy boondoggle on the system. They are the laughing stock, and I'm gonna show you how. But not only did we do a lot of work in Oakland, and the Masjid, we remodeled a junk room they had, made a kitchen out of it, a stove, cabinets, it's a nice place. But we had finished down some of those buildings, and now this is a picture of the Masjid. You can see, this is a picture of the Masjid in Oakland. But it's with some remodeling, you know, arches, And this is the other, we took this one. Soon as we started on this one, you know, we're gonna put a menorah and all that. You know, we're remodeling, we're doing something in Oakland. I don't know if I called y'all, when I got to Oakland this time, there's holes in the ceiling and water buckets all over. Those people, all they do is destroy our property. But the police collaborate with them 100%. I ain't gonna even go into all the arrests and all the things that they have. I'm the founder of the place. I have still, every time I get arrested there, if I get a chance, I will show them the deed. You know, the deed to the property, and it'll have Masjid al-Islam, and this is another one. You ever see me in the back of the police car? This is when they're keeping me out of the other place where he shot the dogs, and it says right there at the top, send all the information to 5021 A Street, and that's why I have my, see, I just passed that around. But when the stuff happened, when Mukhtar shoot the dogs, and I tell them that, hey, if this is a crime scene, y'all letting everybody go in and out of there, and I'm going to secure the building. They say, you can't go in that building. Khadijah can go in the building. So I sent one of my son's friends down to go get my briefcase. I showed that and the articles of incorporation to the police. You can see there at the top in small letters, that the title company says, send all the paperwork. Can you see 5021 A Street?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's why I took a picture with my license, but not license, but you know, ID anyway. But it says 5021 A Street, right? So if I show that's a copy of the deed. If I show to the property that's in dispute, the other property, they put me in the back of the police car and said, you can't do nothing. So in other words, in Oakland, when I got there this time, boy, it was hilarious. First thing is, I got there, ho-hum, I go for a nice little run up in the hills. Huh? Okay, I might go a little while this time because, see, this information is very, very crucial. And when we want to do a short period of time, sometimes it's because we don't want people to be bored and people now change. They have a short attention span. Well, for this is for people who do real serious Islamic study or historical movement study. So they're going to have to be able to sit their behind down for 2-3 hours and watch. Because we're not interested in nobody that can't watch 2 or 3 minutes or 2-3 hours. What about us? We going to jail, getting drug all down the street, and I'm 72 years old. You know, that can get hectic. All them tightening handcuffs so much your hands swell up and pushing you all around. And look, the other day, last week, so remember, let's go to the deal. So we're going to California. Now remember how long I put off we're going to California. Well, I'm going, how many times did I do it? I'll be going next week. Would you hurry up and finish that? Because I just want to get that one. I did that at least 3 or 4 times. Well, I'm going next week. And I just always say, I'm getting my paperwork together, like this paperwork here, because I'm going to see lawyers and I'm going to take care of them. So I'm getting my paperwork together. And I do. I have a mail tray. You know those mail boxes? The cartons, and then you put mail in. Well, I use those for a file, traveling file. And I got it full of files. All of this stuff in triplicates and more. So when I get to Oakland, every time I leave, I take my bag with me, my briefcase, and I take the files with me. And I done said here 1,000 times, yeah, I'm getting my paperwork together. So they're looking at it, they said, this is very important to that nigga because he won't go to the store without taking it, putting it in the car, taking his briefcase. He won't leave it. So they're monitoring me. So what they got to do, they got to get that bag. And they got to get the carton. They got to get my file. They got to, they can't, and I'm doing it on purpose. And I'm saying for 2 weeks before I leave, well, I'm gonna stay a few more days because I'm getting my paperwork together, and this is for da-da-da-da-da. And I said over and over and over and over again. So guess what? Oh, I didn't finish my day's work. It's right after Maghrib, maybe an hour dark. So I go to the door, and I have my briefcase, and I have my door briefcase, and I have the carton with all the paperwork in it. So, when I open the door, hey, what the hell y'all doing up? And I see there they are, this is the serious squad this time. This is the, let's call them the Oakland Raiders, but real Raiders. Helmets, flak jackets, little bead, you can look and see the little red bead on your chest, assault rifles, the whole show. let's say 12 cars, it could have been 15, it could have been, at least, it wasn't no like 10. But there's police everywhere. They are from the sidewalk and they're leaning on my car. So they got, let's say 7 or 8 pistols and at least 2 rifles that I see. I can't count all the rifles, but I can see the pistols and I see the front man right in front of him. He's the one fully armed and everything. And there's others around. So, come on out of the building. See, because the way I play with them, if I'm not out past the threshold, sometimes, this happens so many times, I'll step back in and slam the door. But on this time, they wasn't looking like no slam the door, jump back in. Yeah. I said, I'm not taking a chance. So I come on out, turn around, back up. Then they put me in the car. I said, what's the problem? Then they slapped the recorders on. You know, they're recording all of this. I say, am I going to jail or something? They say, yeah, well, there's a terrorist in there, and we got a call that there's an armed terrorist in there with weapons and da-da-da-da-da, and all of that. I'll tell you how, maybe I have halfway arranged it. But anyway, I called on the phone. I'll tell you how I did it. This time I stopped on the highway and I stopped 2 places. I think I stopped in Kansas. Yeah, it was in Kansas. And, you know, Motel 6. Usually I drive straight through and sleep in the car. But I said, I'm going to just take my time. So this time I stopped like any citizen would do, just stopping. So the second time, I'm going to stop in Albuquerque. So I pull off the highway like I'm going to go here and pull off the highway. I'm just playing around. So then when I get to Albuquerque, I go to the hotel, and I go at the right time because this is around 4:30 in the morning, and the guy says if you wait till 6 o'clock, you could stay till tomorrow. You know, in other words, if I checked in right then, I'd have to check out at 11 o'clock. I said, man, I ain't gonna do that. So it was perfect. So I sat in the car for a few minutes, then around 5, he said, come on in. So he hooked me up. So I called Brother Tufel. I said, yeah, I done fooled these old dumb people. I said, see, they got me under 24/7 surveillance. I said, they don't know who I got hooked up where. And I said, I leave my doors open so anybody can come in and leave anything I want. And that there are blind spots. They don't know who I'm meeting and what I'm doing, you know. And I've been doing this so long. So, between the papers and me saying that, they don't know what I done did. They had to assault on my shit. There's a setup. I set them up, the dummies. They are stupid. Number one, everybody knows I've been arrested 40 times. I've never had a weapon in my life. I don't believe it. Everybody that heard, I don't believe in fist fighting. And well, I used to fight the police, but I'm 72. I don't believe in getting a 5-year sentence like I did years ago for fighting with a federal agent.